So in this next VeeDynamics tutorial, I'll show you how to animate only part of an object rather than applying the elasticity to a whole object. Okay, first let me explain the rationale behind the functionality which I'm going to present. So the idea is simple. We want to animate a subset of the elastic body vertices directly in Blender so the given vertices are not simulated. Their position in time during the simulation are fully determined by how we animate them in the Blender timeline, whereas all the other vertices of the body are simulated in the usual manner, but at the same time, they respond to how animated vertices behave. So let me explain this a little bit more clearly using an example. So the first step of the workflow is to determine which vertices are going to be animated in Blender and which are going to be simulated by the simulator. So if we just start off, let's have a look, tab into edit mode, we can see what our object looks like. You can see the mesh density. And first up, we want this side over here to be animated, not simulated. So over into the vertex groups, let's press plus to create a new vertex group. Going to double click and I'm just going to name that VeeDynamics Anim. Now that is super important, it's case sensitive. This is the vertex group name that will control what is going to be animated. So with our mesh selected, I'm going to click assign. So assign this mesh to the vertex group. And under mode, we're going to change that to elastic body. We've got a material already here, but if we wanted to, we go new material. Then I can go run simulation and we can see how it's created something. So if I were to press play now, we can see how it's flopping around. Awesome. So as you can see, our strip, or whatever you want to call it, is simply falling down while being attached in place by the vertices which we added to the VeeDynamics Anim group. And why is that? The answer is simple. As I've already said, the position of all the vertices which you add to the VeeDynamics group are 100% determined by their position in Blender. Their positions are not determined by the simulation. So far, we didn't apply any animation to the vertices in any way, and that's why the vertices in the VeeDynamics Anim group are staying in place during the entire simulation. At the same time, all the other vertices, not added to the group, are simulated in the usual manner, and they respond to the behavior of the animated vertices. So from one hand, they are affected by gravity, but on the other hand, they are attached to the vertices which stay in place. Hence why the simulation results is what we see in the viewport. So, while attaching a subset of vertices to a static location in space may be useful in some scenarios, let's do something more interesting by actually animating the vertices in the VeeDynamics Anim group in Blender. So I'm going to animate this using the hook modifier. So we can make this now a little bit more interesting. So if we go back into frame 0 or frame 1, this time I kind of want to do a bit of, make it twist pretty much. So I'm going to tab into edit mode. We are going to create a new vertex group and call this rotate. I'm going to select this side of the mesh here. So let's select all this like so and click assign. We have both ends added to the VeeDynamics group, and at the same time, only one end is added into the rotate group. From here, let's go tab into object mode, Shift A. I'm going to add in a empty. I like using a sphere rather than just the arrows. Selecting the object, we can come down into the modifiers, add modifier. Let's go into deform. And I'm going to select hook. There we go. Let's select our object or our empty that is controlling that vertex group. And let's select the vertex group, which is rotate. For now, we'll select this. We'll select the empty, press I to do an inset. So we've added in a keyframe. Let's go to frame 160, rotate Y 720, for instance, I. So now we can see how that's rotating. Now we're getting some weird results, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so now the important step. As you can see, we already have the VeeDynamics modifier present on the stack. The modifier is used to load the simulation results from the last simulation run. It was kind of automatically added to the stack by the VeeDynamics add-on. Now keep in mind that the VeeDynamics, when rerunning the simulation, ignores all modifiers which are added to the stack after the VeeDynamics modifier. But we don't want the hook modifiers to be ignored by the simulation rerun, as we want the vertex animation to be visible in the simulation. That's why we're adding the hook modifier in the first place, yeah? Fortunately, the solution is really easy. All we have to do is remove the existing VeeDynamics modifier from the stack, and we can safely do that. Then the VeeDynamics add-on will add another instance of the VeeDynamics modifier after the next rerun is completed. So it's going to add that new instance at the very end of the stack. So after the hook modifier. Then we can come back up here, run the simulation again. And I've done something wrong. Let's select everything, check the vertex group. If I go select, that's there, and that is the other side. Let's also add that to the VeeDynamics anim. So this side that we've got selected or set as the rotate. Back into object mode, clear the simulation, run the simulation, okay. And now we've got this twist. There we go. I mean, how cool is that? Now, obviously we've got a bit of bounciness because of gravity. Fun fact. So if we change the gravity to 0 across the board, clear that simulation, run that simulation, and now we get this cool spiral. Awesome. So as you can see that both beam ends positions are determined by the Blender timeline because we added them to the VeeDynamics group. And while one end maintains its position because we didn't animate it in Blender in any way, the other end rotates due to the hook modifier, and the simulation calculates position of all the other vertices in the middle in a way which responds to these constraints. So as you can see, animating the vertices in VeeDynamics is very straightforward, but there is an important thing to note. In the tutorial, I am animating vertices using the hook modifier, but keep in mind that it's not like the hook modifier is the only modifier supported by VeeDynamics. It's quite the opposite, okay? In fact, VeeDynamics is a modifier agnostic. It simply takes the results of the modifier stack evaluation in Blender as is, and it passes it to the simulation. So in practice, it means that it supports all modifiers and all combination of modifiers. Now the hook modifier is used here only as an example. Now that's pretty cool. Let's take it to the next step. What I'm going to do is duplicate this. So let's go Shift D, X, keep it roughly in the same spot there. This one here, let's go rotate X 7 degrees. And this one here, rotate X minus 7 degrees. So we've got these two objects. Both of these sides have the rotate vertex group. What I want to do is create a second vertex group. So let's select this, come into face mode. I'm just going to select that one. Let's go new group and we'll go rotate to assign. Select this one, new vertex group, and then we'll call rotate 2. I'm going to select, maybe we'll select both of these, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then we will add in another sphere. Select the top one. Let's go into modifiers. I'm going to remove the VeeDynamics, add deform, hook, and then we'll select our second one. And then we'll do that again with our second object. 01, rotate 2, rotate 2. There we go. Rather than this one rotating 720, we'll rotate this one 360. I to set that keyframe. This one here can be minus 360. I, and then let's go to frame 1, change it to 0, and we'll do I. So now we have these both rotating. Perfect. Okay, so now we're ready to start the simulation. And the last important note, remember that the following scenario will work because we already have all the strip ends added to the VeeDynamics anim group. The first strip had them added from the previous simulation run. The second was a copy of the first one, so the vertex group assignments were duplicated. And now we're hoping to have these two spiral together. I think I went the wrong way. Nope, one of them's not even rotating. Let's come back into here, check that. I've got a feeling I didn't assign the vertex group. So if I go rotate 2 and we go select, nothing is selected. Well done, Marco. So we'll do that again. Assign, clear the simulation, run the simulation, run. That's pretty cool. So if we press play, and you can see how it kind of wraps in on itself. I don't think there's any other add-on that can do this. We could probably do something with cloth dynamics, but this is so simple. They're rotating the wrong way. I reckon if I make this 360 and this one minus 360, let's clear the simulation, run the simulation. And then if we press play, look at that. That's cool. So I'm intrigued to see what you guys could come up with this. Now, I'm just going to show you one other thing. It's a dinosaur bouncing. I mean, it's pointless. I'm not going to go through on how to do this because the start of the tutorial covered all this. But when using this add-on, if you run into any issues, you can always send an email to support@VeeDynamics.com. And they'll be able to help you out and even maybe give you your own jumping dino. So if you've made it this far, like and subscribe, just so you don't miss out on any future tutorials.